Now, I don't know why all manufacturers of small engine equipment don't do this simple trick to save customers a ton of grief and a little bit of money, but I guess it's because they're in the business of selling parts. But lucky for you, I'm in the business of telling you tricks on how to not have to buy them. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning back into Chickanic. I hope everybody's having a great week. Do not go anywhere because today we are going over one of the most important things that you need to do right now to keep your small engine out of the repair shop. But before we get into today's video, if you're a fan of saving time, money, and frustration while fixing your own small engine equipment while watching in-depth tutorials, you've come to the right place because that's what I do. I upload a couple times a week, and if that sounds interesting, hit that like button, smash that subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, and please leave a comment. I love to read the comments, and I will reply to all the early commenters. So I had a customer come in this week with their riding lawnmower, and their crankcase was plumb full to the max with watery oil. Yes. And people say, how does water get inside the engine? Well, it doesn't just get in through any port. It has to get in through the gas. And it's funny, and people say, well, there was no water in my gas. Actually, out of the 2,000 pieces of equipment that goes through my shop every single year, I'm going to tell you 70% of them have water in the fuel. It's crazy. You can get bad batches at the store. It sucks it in out of the air. I know a lot of people don't believe it, but always check your gas first. I try to get some kind of little sucking device to get to the very bottom because the water is heavier than the gasoline. Always check the bottom of your tank and see if there's any water in it because 70% of the time, that is your problem. Okay, so the customer might believe me that there was water in the gas, but still they're like, well, how did it get into the crankcase? Well, that's because you have a carburetor, and this could be on your riding lawnmower, on your log splitter, on your walk-behind mower, on your generator. It does not matter. If you have a carburetor like this, now this is a Nike carburetor, so it's a little different, but it works the same as everything else. These work like a toilet, okay? They have a float inside that shuts the gas off once it gets to a certain point. And while we're at this, I do want you to know, I have so many people come in that just want to buy bowl gaskets for their bowl because they say it's leaking. If your carburetor is filling up enough to reach this rim right here, that means your needle's not shutting off correctly and you have deeper issues. It's never just a bowl gasket. It is definitely something more. A bowl gasket is not going to make it stop leaking. And if it just keeps filling up more, it's going to cause this problem that we're talking about right now. So it works like that, where whenever the gas gets so far up in the bowl, it shuts the needle off and doesn't let any more gas flow through. Now, a lot of the newer mowers or any kind of engines, they have fuel shutoff solenoids on them. And over time, these get to where they're not going to shut the gas off correctly. Now, a fuel shutoff solenoid, it disengages. It engages when you turn the key off because it shuts the gas off. It's like a backfire preventer. When you engage your key, this little button, this one's locked up. This carburetor's completely bad, but this little button down here goes down. It lets the gas flow through, and that's how it works. Well, over time, they wear out just like everything else does, and they'll let gas through. So if that's letting gas through and your needle has swollen or is not, hardened, the tip is hardened because you either have a metal tip needle or you have a rubber tip needle, and opposite what it goes into is either metal or plastic or rubber. So everything, it works one off the other, rubber on plastic or rubber on metal, just so it'll give that seal. So if it doesn't seal off, it just keeps filling up with gas until it comes through your intake into your head. And if your valves are open, it will go straight into your crankcase. If your valves are closed, it might just stick in there. But if your carburetor doesn't shut the fuel off, it's got to go somewhere. Now, there are ways you can fight this by using certain fuel stabilizers, and I know there are videos out there that show you tests that they do not work. And when it comes to stabilizing a gas for a very long time, I don't think anything does it anymore because whatever they are doing to our gas, they do not want us to store it very long. Now, from experience, I use Ethanol Shield, and I will leave a link in the description box below if you would like to get some too. We put Ethanol Shield in everything that comes through the shop. One, because I don't want to fix it again if somebody forgets to pick their stuff up for 6 months, and 2, because I've used it in my personal stuff like my Shindawa trimmers and my steel backpack blowers, and they start every single year and I don't have to do anything to them, so it must be doing something at least. Now this bottle here is 4 ounces. It mixes 20 gallons for 2 and 4 cycle and 40 gallons for auto and marine. And if you're getting just like a gallon of gas, all you got to use is a capful. But the reason I like it is because it has additives in it that will help rejuvenate rubber components like the tip of your needle or any of your diaphragms or gaskets or stuff like that are inside your carburetor, your fuel lines. It keeps them soft and pliable. You know, it's got oils in it to do that. Now, Ethanol Shield says it eats water, and it does a little bit with the little droplets and stuff like that, but I did this experiment at work a couple weeks ago, and I just wanted to see exactly how much water would get sucked into gas over a period of time. Check this out. So I filled this little cup up with straight gasoline and let it sit on my counter for about 3 hours. And it was a very humid day. It was raining outside, although it is pretty humid here in Arkansas all the time. And the first thing you can notice is that it was condensating on the side of the cup like crazy, pouring droplets of water into the little cup. At the same time, the gasoline was evaporating, so you can actually see the level decline through this short 45-second, condensed video I've made of it, which I thought was pretty cool. But at this point, you can see it completely clouds up. It is totally full of water now. And then I go ahead and pull out my little sucker and test it, and check this out. Bottom is full of nothing but water. Now, it says that it will keep gas for 3 years. No, don't believe that, okay? Don't keep any gas for 3 years. Buy gas that you think you're going to use in the next, 60 days, to be honest with you, because I'm telling you guys, they're definitely doing something to our gas. But that's not even what I'm telling you about today. I have a better trick for you, and it's going to be like, why do manufacturers not put this on everything they sell? One, because they're in the business of selling parts, and, they're going to make their money one way or another. But the fact is, this $5 part can save you hundreds of dollars at the repair shop if you use it. And all it is a fuel shutoff. And 90% of all the units out there don't have a simple fuel shutoff on them. Some things you can't put it on because there's no room. But the majority of things, you can have a fuel shutoff. Now, Honda is really good about putting fuel shutoffs on all their walk-behind mowers, on their generators, some of their big commercial engines that go on multiple things, welders and stuff like that. They all have them built onto the carburetors. It's like an awesome design. Why doesn't everybody do this? I have no idea. So I will leave a link to a fuel shutoff in the description box below with hose clamps. And all you got to do, guys, is cut your fuel line, stick it in there, put some clamps on there. And when you go to turn your unit off, especially at the end of the season, it's pertinent. Now, you're going to still want to use a fuel stabilizer in there, because no matter what you do, unless you actually drain the bottom of the bowl out and get all of that gas out there, if you're just running it dry, there's always remnants left in there, just little tiny droplets of gasoline left in there that can cause havoc on your carburetor. Put your fuel shutoff on, use a fuel stabilizer. When you get done using your mower, don't turn it off. Turn your fuel off and just let it run until it runs out of gas. I'm telling you, this will save you so much money. If everybody did this, I'd lose a lot of money at my repair shop, to tell you the truth. But if your fuel shut off, it's never going to have the chance to go through your carburetor into your cylinder and fill your cylinder up. So that's it, guys. A $5 fuel shut off can save you hundreds of dollars at the repair shop. I hope you will take the time to do it, because it will definitely save you some time, money, and frustration. Also, I want to give you an update on the John Deere Rider that y'all saw me completely tearing the engine apart and putting a Frankenstein engine together to put on it. I am selling it. I have not sold it yet because I did order some front tires for it because they were crazy bald. Other than that, everything's fine to go, and a lot of you said I could get $1,500 for it. I think that's what I'm going to try for. I will let you know when that thing sells. So thanks again for tuning in to Chickanic. Hopefully this video saves you time, money, and frustration in the future. If you haven't found me on Facebook, find me at facebook.com/Chickanic. Find me at Instagram at TheRealChickanic, or find me at Chickanic.com, where you can get your own t-shirts, hoodies, and long sleeve shirts. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.